Let's do this shit. So, I know you're looking at your screen. You may have had to even rub your eyes for a second and take a second look. I know you're looking at the bottom left and you said, wait a minute, is that Blunder? With the two R's? With the low tad? With the IDM chain on? No, it can't be. Yes, that's me on your screen right now. My first tournament game in 2 years. We're playing Gen 7 OU. My opponent, his name is TPP. He decided to cheat and bring a Blaziken even though it's banned. And so this was the tournament game that went forward. So let me give you guys a little backstory on what really happened in this battle. So this is my first tournament I've played in a very long time. I think it's like 2 years now. It's called the Sun and Moon Premier League. This tournament is all Pokemon Sun and Moon. And it's a team tournament. So my team, they drafted me. I went for a lot of money. I was the most expensive player in the draft. But you know why I was the most expensive player in the draft? Inflation. Inflation rose my cost a lot. So while I am quite an amazing player, I do got to say that inflation plus some other macroeconomic factors made me go for the most expensive. Oh yeah, and the final underlying fact, the fact that I'm the GOAT when it comes to SM. So all of those things put together is why we're here today with this tournament battle. So my team picked me up. I forgot our team name. It's something to do with Weezing, but I told them that we're renaming our team to the Agency Agents if they want me to play. And unfortunately, I'm Tom Brady, so you just have to listen. So anyways, I'm in the tournament tier. This is SMOU. It's called SMOU Suspect Test with a little twist. So for the first week, they had Blaziken unbanned. Now, I was thinking about bringing a Blaziken team, but here's the issue. I don't be building teams like that, right? And then I looked at my builder, and I had no team with Blaziken. So I tried throwing Blaziken over Heatran. They're not really similar mons. I tried throwing it over Volcarona. Those are also not too similar of mons, despite them all being the same type. And I decided, you know what? Instead of bringing a Blaziken team, I'm going to bring a team that's weak to Blaziken instead and go on challenge mode, because that's what the agency would do. We would purposefully bring a team weak to Blaziken. And so that's what I did. I put all my guys on that could get fucked up by Blaziken, put on Magearna and Tangro to give Blaziken some free setup, and then said, you know what? Onwards. I got this team from my buddy Ben Gay years ago. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. Great team. I'd never used it in a tournament or anything. I don't even think I ever laddered with this, but it just looked like a team that I wanted to use. It had all the classic OU guys. And Mamoswine is a fun mon. I think Mamoswine is quite underrated in Gen 7, even if you run into stuff like Rotom Wash, which I'm up against. But my team was down 4-5 at this point. They needed me to come in and clutch, and make sure we tie the week and don't lose. So I said, Coach, put me in. Now, after that very, very long intro, before I go any further, you already know what I'm going to say, folks. Legends 2022 is live. It's been about 24 hours since it's dropped that we've already sold 1,000 units, which is beyond mind-blowing. This is something I could have never expected. 1,000, like this is crazy. I can't wait till we have the full store and everything, but thank you guys so much for the support. Go check this out if you haven't already. Go check out the Legends merch. Go get yourself something nice. Go check it out. We got shorts, sweatpants, crew necks, and we got the hoodies with the Sun and Palms collection. So this is really just... I'm really happy to share this with you guys. Go check it out. Go get yourself something nice. And let's get back into the battle. So, hold on. Is my music not on loop? Oh, shit. See, it's been so long since I've done this that I almost forgot to loop the music. Worry not. Worry not. All right. Let's see. So, from what I can tell here, folks, in this matchup, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, the Blaziken is obviously going to be a threat. But other than that, I'm not too worried. If you look at it, he has a big threat in Alakazam, but that's only if terrain comes up and I let my Magearna take enough chip to where Zam can overpower it. I was pretty sure looking at his team that the Magearna had to be AV, because if he was offensive Magearna, he'd probably just get 6-0'd by opposing Lele with Moonblast or Psychic or whatever the case is. But I was also thinking that my Mega Latios can be a huge threat. I have EQ, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Roost. EQ and Psychic basically take care of the majority of Pokemon on his team. Sure, Mega Zam can come in and it can trace Levitate and wall EQ, but I can just Thunderbolt that thing enough times to force it to recover or get myself out of that situation. So in the end, I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, it looks like Blaziken and Tapu Lele are probably going to be the guys that are the most annoying. I just got to make sure that I do not let the Blaziken get out of hand and set up. So I lead off with Tornadus T. I am Z Tornadus, so in Gen 7, as you all know, Gen 7, my favorite generation of all time. I find this to be the most fun OU by a mile. I think you can use the most different cool types of mons ever. That's why in tournament back when I used to play, I would bring Sharpedo, Glalie, all that shit, and I didn't bring it to Flex. Well, I brought it to Flex, but I also thought it was good. It's not like I brought like some trash Magikarp. I thought all these mons were good. And Gen 7 is the best because you can basically bring any Pokemon and win with it. Anyways, this is Z Tornadus. This is not Gen 8 pussy shit with heavy duty boots. No, this is straight Z move, Super Hurricaneatus. Alright, so we go for U-turn here. We do 20% because my Z move does not one hit KO. I cannot stay in on that. He goes for Psyshock, which does 28%. My Magearna is max HP, close to max Spadef. Leftovers come in play really, really nicely here, you're going to see, because I'm going to keep on getting leftovers back throughout this battle. And if I was AV, this probably would have been a lot tougher because I would have been at 72 immediately there. But Magearna is Volt Switch, Pain Split, Flash Cannon, Heart Swap. Heart Swap is, I guess, to get past just like random calm minding bullshit like Clefable. Pretty smart tech. I guess Reuniclus as well would be able to pack this team up. So I guess that does make sense in the end. I go into Tornadus T here. He goes into Rotom Wash, as I believe I just go for the Hurricane. Yup, I go for the Hurricane there. I want to be able to get damage. It does 25%, which is really, really, really good damage to Rotom. I was actually quite impressed with that. Just because, you know, nowadays all the Torns are defensive. He goes right for Volt Switch. I'm assuming he predicted me to stay in and go for a knockoff. And he, for that reason, you know, he just thought that instead of going for Will-O-Wisp, he would rather Volt Switch and get initiative. But fortunately, that works out for me. I just go to Gastrodon. I figured, you know what, Gastrodon's fine. Even if I let Gastrodon get burned, it's okay. I really only feel like I need Gastrodon for his Alakazam. I'm very, very certain on his team that Magearna is Assault Vest and not, what's the word? And not Shift Gear or Trick Room or anything. I was very certain from the beginning this would be AV just based on his team composition. He brings Alakazam in on the Toxic, which is a great play here. Here, I do not want to give up any momentum here. I go right into Tornadus. I was pretty sure he wasn't going to Psychic if he had it, because Psychic does not 2-hit KO even if he Mega Evolves. If he Mega Evolves, then he's going to start taking Toxic Chip, right? So that doesn't really work for him either. And then I thought the only other possibility is he has something like Energy Ball, which is kind of left field, but it could happen, right? When you run an offensive team like this, you could be afraid of Swampert, even with a Rotom Wash. That would be his only water resist. So I thought just in case he had like the Trace, Megazam, Trace Swift Swim, Revenge Rain teams, that type of thing, just in case Tornadus covers everything. But no, he just goes back into Landorus T, which is good for me. I'm assuming he predicted my Magearna to come in there, but no, I know I need to let Magearna stay healthy. Magearna is going to need to be alive for Zam. I'm not afraid of Lele because Lele's Life Orb, so that thing's going to kill itself, but I am afraid of Alakazam. He brings in Rotom. I'm able to hit my second Hurricane, which is pretty nice, and then here I'm able to go for the Supersonic Sky Strike. Shout out Z move. That shit is basically just like, you know, like a super tornado, and we kill that thing immediately. In comes Zam here. This is great because he's pretty damn weak to Alakazam. Him bringing this in basically shows that he doesn't have anything that he feels comfortable going into. I know staying in here is completely fine. I'm offensive Tornadus, but Psychic should not do too much at all, and it really doesn't do shit. It only does 69%. I go for the U-turn. I get a pretty clutch critical hit there, and he gets down to 5% after the Toxic. Now, I have a Mamoswine. This is Never Melt Ice as the item, and it's Jolly, so I knew that I would be able to speed tie with Blaziken if it was Jolly as well, and I'd keep that in mind if he was Adamant too, if I had to do like a damage calc. But my Mamoswine does have Stealth Rock. Now, unfortunately, I did not have the balls to go for rocks here. I was like, come on, should I do it? But no, I went for Ice Shard. Because despite me being an agent at that time, I was not a Legend. And for that reason, I went for the Ice Shard. I was not a Legend at that time, but here he goes for Focus Blast. That was a crazy play. Come on. I knew he'd Focus Blast there because he wants to go and catch the Magearna. I knew he was going to go for the Focus Blast or he's going to go for the Psychic. Either or, he's going to try to get chip on Magearna. For that reason, I bring in Latios because I'm like, okay, I don't want Mag taking that chip. I need to get it. I need to keep it healthy enough to deal with the Alakazam. Plus, you got to remember, he traced the Regenerator with his Alakazam, so it's not coming back in at 5%, it's coming back in at 38%. Either way, I get the Lati play perfect. I'm able to take some Life Orb chip off of him, bring in Magearna here, as he actually reveals he's Draining Kiss and not Moonblast, which is pretty interesting. It's good for him because he's able to recover HP there, so, I mean, that's actually pretty cool. I guess it makes sense on Life Orb. I'm assuming he's Calm Mind 3 attack, but yeah. I'm going to Flash Cannon here because I was pretty sure he was just going to bring in Landorus or sack this thing just to Psyshock for a final hit. Either or, I knew Flash Cannon was my play. Landorus is not specially defensive in this generation, so yeah. He's going to take 37%. He brings his rocks up as I go for Mamoswine. I was pretty sure he was either going to go for rocks or just flat out EQ. I don't know. I was actually pretty certain he was going for rocks, given what the situation was. And I didn't want to bring in Tangrowth on a U-turn into, you know, a special type. That'd be stupid. Anyway, I bring up rocks as he brings in his Magearna there. Those rocks will help a decent amount, I think, because, I don't know, it just chips stuff. I mean, I just wanted rocks up. I was pretty sure it was the right play. I'm trying to think if there was something else I could have done here if I was supposed to Icicle Crash instead. But I think I wanted rocks. Oh, no, I do remember why I wanted rocks up. I wanted rocks up because then after Lele takes one more Life Orb hit, it's in Earthquake range from Latios. Now I remember why I wanted rocks up. Here I go for Icicle Crash. Now, the reason I went for Icicle Crash here, it's an insane play. I understand that play was insane. EQ doesn't kill this anyway. So either I flinch or I thought he would go into Landorus to try and get the Intimidate and switch up a little bit. Anyway, now I realize that I'm an idiot for going for Icicle Crash, and I go for EQ on turn 17. And he just sacks it because he can't risk his Landorus at this point. He brings in the Lele. I want to keep Mamoswine just in case. I want to keep that Mon. It's going to force a kill versus Landorus, and it can also force a kill versus Blaziken. Here he goes for Draining Kiss to try and get back some HP. That works out for me because I go into Magearna. Fortunately for me, he doesn't Psyshock there. I believe I go for the double, or do I go for Flash Cannon? No, I go for Volt Switch actually. So I Volt Switch out there just in case he stays in, but he brings in Landorus, which is a good play on his part. Now I'm going to bring in my Gastrodon as he just goes for the U-turn. Yes, sir. That does 23%, not too much, as he brings in Blaziken. Now, I have my Gastrodon out here. I was like, okay, I should be able to live every attack from Blaziken besides a Z move or a Banded move. This man goes for HJK and instantly kills my Gastro. I was like, what? How is that even possible? Now watch this. Now watch this shit. I think, okay, this is banded. It's obviously banded. So I bring in Tangrowth here, knowing that he can't kill me with Flare Blitz. I'm like, oh, he's going to fear the Sleep Powder equals he's going into Landorus or something on this instead. And then I'm going to bring in Lottie on the double, Mega Evolve, and then sweep him. So that was my mentality. I bring in Latios here. That man goes for the Z Flare Blitz. Fucking sends my Latios to hell. Can you believe that HJK straight up kills Gastro at 77? No Life Orb, no ban, no nothing? Blaziken is crazy. Now I understand why this thing got banned. Anyway, I bring in Tang here. I'm knockoff Giga Drain, HP Ice, Sleep Powder. Unfortunately, I do not have EQ. Otherwise, obviously, we would have gone hard for EQ. But we go for Sleep Powder here on the switch into Landorus, which is completely fine with me. He is not going to be able to double into Alakazam or Lele on Giga Drain. I know he doesn't want to risk that. It makes no sense from his perspective. I bring in Torn here because Torn basically forces in the Alakazam. I have been pretty lucky this game, I gotta say. I did hit 3 Hurricanes, so that is pretty lucky. And I hit my Sleep Powder. So all things considered, that is pretty nice. He brings in Zam here. He traces Regenerate again. Now here, I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay. From this situation right here, if he Psychics and kills my Torn, then I'm probably going to lose to the Blaziken. But I figure he knows that I can't sack Torn, right? So I'm thinking, okay, he's either going to recover, predicting me to switch out into Magearna, but that's just going to let me get a kill with Flash Cannon afterwards. Or he's going to go into Blaziken on a double switch from me going into Magearna because he knows that's my switch in to Alakazam. So that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking he's either going to go to Blaziken, predicting that, because his only opportunity to set up a Blaziken at this point is against my Magearna. If he goes to Magearna there, I mean, if I go to Magearna and he brings in Blaziken and those two are out versus each other, it puts me in a pretty annoying situation because all I can do really is Volt Switch out. And if he Flare Blitzes me, then I risk losing to one of the Psychic types in the back. So here, I'm going to go for the U-turn, basically predicting him to switch out or go for the Recover or something of that sort. And fortunately for me, he does go into Blaziken. And that was basically the most agency Legend play that could have been. I had to transform right there mid-battle. I bring in the Mamoswine. I'm Jolly Mamoswine. I'm pretty sure he was adamant, seeing as he KO'd my Gastrodon at 77, but who knows. Either way, I'm Jolly. So I was like, 50% of the time, we killing this shit. Let's knock it out. He now brings in Lele. He does 25%. Here, I misclicked. Tangrowth, which was really, really, really dumb. I misclicked Tangrowth on accident. It was my fat fingers. I was actually playing this on phone in an Uber. I had somewhere to be, unfortunately, and I planned this game's timing wrong like a dumbass, but I Sleep Powder him there, my fat fucking fingers. I then bring in Magearna on the switch. I realized this actually might be better because now I got back leftovers instead of taking the 6%. He wakes up, goes for a Focus Blast backed by Life Orb. Even with the Life Orb, that only does 32 because Magearna is goddamn bulky. Super, super, super bulky. And yeah, I get some leftovers back. And at this point, My mag is at a really healthy amount of HP to where his Alakazam is not going to be able to kill me. Even with a critical hit, he's going to go for Focus Blast here. It's going to do how much? 32. So maybe with a crit it would have killed me. I guess it was a roll. And then if he killed me, I would have lost immediately because he would have got Soul Heart and then just Psychic the other guys. But fortunately, we're able to pull it out. A close game. Really good game too. Happy with that one. We were able to clutch it for my team. Unfortunately, we tied the week. My noob-ass team. They lost too many games. But this upcoming week, we're going to win. This upcoming week, it's the same tier I'm in, the Suspect tier, and they got Blaziken again. I'm going to bring Blaziken this time. I'm going to bring it. I'm not going to be cheap and use non-Blaziken team. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all soon. Take care. Go check out the Legends 2022 merch. Like I said, link in the description, of course. Thanks for showing love. Stream later. Peace.